So, the shortest analogy and the shortest way to explain my father's and mother's behavior and the way it's wrong, there's a lot to it. But so, if you've been watching this video, I'm sure you've heard the actual facts. But here's the analogy: my mother's taking a shit, and then either my mother and father's taking a shovel, putting it on my head, and then standing back and calling me a shithead. So, my mother's taking a shit, and then they put it on my head, and they stand back and tell everybody, look at my son who's 7. Look how he's a shithead. Look how he's a shithead. And then they take another dump. My wife, his wife takes another piece of crap. Like, I win a swimming medal. That's it. I'm in an orphanage. I win a swimming medal, and I want to show it to her. That's it. No shit there. Your son's self-esteem was brought up because he came up first, and he wants to show it to his mother because he's getting attached to this mother. Very normal. But then my mother takes a shit on me by stealing my medal, then literally coming up with fantasies like it's a stolen medal. Oh, you stole this from an African American kid who's athletic. There's no way you're athletic. We didn't see you win this. This name on the back is your old last name, so you must have put it there because you want to try to hurt your mother by putting your last name on there, don't you? So my mother's coming up with all these mental illness fantasies about me when really my mother's experiencing her own mental health crisis. She thinks people are out to get her. I was not out to get her when I showed her my swimming medal. I just was getting attached to my mom and wanted to show her something I won in the orphanage. That's all. But my mother's mental illness got in the way. She thinks everybody's out to get her. Tim's out to get her. Her 7-year-old son's out to get her. Doctors are out to get her. Everybody's out to get me, is what my mother thinks. Not only this, she's making up stories in her head like her son is writing on medals. So a 20-something-year-old with dirty blonde hair at a swimming pool wrote that on the medal. It was at like the YMCA. It was just a Sharpie. I think it was even green, but I can't quite remember the color. I remember maybe thinking during childhood, my name is Green Alge and the color is green, but I can't remember quite, if, but the color. I think it was green though. But anyways, it faded after a while too. My mother is making up facts that she said, oh no, he wrote it on there. So that's just a fantasy. It's not my handwriting. I did not have that color Sharpie. I didn't have that marker. And it's a staff member that pulled out the marker and wrote that on there. Not only this, my mother's going to make up mental illnesses about me too. She brings me to a doctor, and as I cry and say, I won that, it's my medal, give it back, and I cry and say, why are you hurting me, Mom? Why are you making up stories about me, Mom? As I cry to the doctor, my mother then says, he makes up fantasies. See, he wants to hurt me by making up these fantasies. And see, he wrote this. I know he wrote this on the back of this medal to hurt me. I know he wrote it. So don't listen to this 7-year-old kid. It's a fantasy. Listen to me. I know he wrote this on this medal and stole it from the African American kid. Oh, yes, he did. So my mother's even making up fantasies at the doctor's and then trying to get me on pills. She's asking the doctor for every pill in the book. She's trying to get all the pills. Doctors are telling my mother, slow down. Your son doesn't need that many pills. Oh, yes, he does. More pills, more pills. You should slow down on the amount of pills you're giving your 7-year-old son. No, 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 we want more pills. I mean, the doctors literally had to tell my mother, no, no, we're not going to give you 20 pills. We're not going to give you all the pharmacy. So I always heard the doctors trying to convince my mother less pills. It's usually the other way around. Usually parents don't want their kids on pills at that young age, but it's necessary. With my mother, it was the opposite. She wanted me as many drugs as possible, especially right after this overdose. Especially when I started talking about some problems with my nervous system. Teachers were talking